Am I the jerk for refusing to go to therapy with my stepsister? My stepsister and I, both 15-year-old females, used to be close. We became stepsisters at 6 years old, and even though I never called her just my sister, I always thought of her as one of my best friends and a part of my family. The only source of conflict we ever had was my dad's family. They never accepted my stepsister as part of their family. When I would go to visit them, she would get upset about it. She always felt that it was not fair. My dad died, and his family stayed in my life. They loved me and made sure I had more people to support me. However, her mom left her, and so did her mom's family. I know it made her jealous, and I know we fought about it before. She would beg me to let her come along, but I always felt a little uncomfortable with that, so I never asked. 2 months ago, my stepsister wanted us to go to a convention an hour from where we live. She never said anything and bought the tickets online without asking her dad or me. That same weekend, I had plans to visit my great-grandmother for her birthday and was spending the night with her and my grandparents. When my stepsister mentioned the convention, it was 3 days before, and I refused to cancel seeing my family to go with her. She told me she really wanted us to go and said I could see my family anytime. I told her my great-grandmother is older, and I might not get to see her anytime because she is in and out of the hospital a lot. That weekend, while I was gone, my stepsister found the DVD my dad made for me before he died, which was his last goodbye to me. It was my comfort item. I had it in my room in my desk because I wanted it to be safe. My stepsister broke the disc and tossed it in the trash in the mall before I got back. I went to watch it that night and it was gone. I told my mom and I was pretty hysterical. That is when she and my stepdad figured out what happened. I told my stepsister I hated her. I said I would never let her be my family again and that we would never be friends again. She started crying and apologizing. I told her it didn't matter because she was dead to me. My mom took me for ice cream to try and calm me down and cheer me up. My stepsister was grounded when I got back. Things have not blown over. I refuse to forgive her. I ignore her and make sure she's not allowed to touch me. I leave the room if she comes in. I ignored her at school too. She was getting more and more upset. My mom and stepdad asked me to work on forgiving her, and I said never. They now want us to go to therapy together, and I said no. I told them I won't go willingly, and even if they make me, I won't take part in therapy. I said they can waste money if they want, but I am not going to let her fix this. I told them I wish she was never in my life and that I really hate her. I said I hope she ends up miserable and never gets over the guilt of what she did because I will never forget. My mom and stepdad got mad at me over refusing and said I needed to learn to forgive. Am I the asshole? In my opinion, you have done nothing wrong here. She is 15, not 6, and she had time to think about what she was doing. This wasn't an act of hurt feelings, it was revenge and hateful. She broke it, threw it away in a trash can away from your home, all before you got home. Some things can't be forgiven, and therapy doesn't fix everything. Am I the jerk for refusing to accept a gift from my parent and telling them they could do what they want with it, but I'm not taking it? I, 19-year-old male, am moving out next month. I am in the stage of buying furniture and items for my new place. My dad, 44-year-old male, is very controlling in my opinion and always wants to be involved in everything and make decisions for everybody. Our relationship has always been pretty frayed because of this. At the start of this process, he kept talking about furniture, insisted on coming with me to open houses, and led conversations with the letting agents. We had an argument because he insisted that I had to buy my own pots and pans because using what came with the house, even after cleaning them, would be gross. Therefore, I bought my own. I told him I did not want him to buy any furniture for the place, and that I wanted to pick out and buy the furniture myself. Last night, I told him I was going to the warehouse store today to look at furniture, specifically a coffee table. I found one I like and want for my place. When I came home, he had bought me a coffee table. Admittedly, it is way cheaper than the one I want, but it looks like crap and is not anything like what I want. I reacted really badly and just shrugged because inside I was so upset he had done this when I had already said I did not want him to do it. I told him I'd already picked one out and he would have to return it. It turns out he glued some of the parts together when he put it together, so he cannot take it back to the store. He said I have to take it. I told him he could do whatever he wants with it, but it is not going to my place. He came into my room and said, "I'm sorry, I just thought I was doing good. I couldn't pass it up. It's a good deal and you need one." I told him that I know he wants to be involved in the move, but that it has to be 100% on my terms. He said fine, but has been acting upset and distant since. We were going to go to the store together and grab some beers, but he told me not to bother coming. I think I might be the asshole because the table is bought now and would be fine in my apartment, so I should just use it since it would save me a lot of money. However, I know he would use me accepting it now as an excuse to never take my no seriously. Also, I set a really hard line boundary and was visibly upset, and I seem to have really hurt his feelings. So, am I the asshole? You did nothing wrong here. You're an adult, and you have the right to make your own decisions, especially when it comes to furnishing your new place. It's clear that your dad is struggling with not being in control, but he needs to respect your boundaries. He can offer help in a way that respects your choices, but you're not obligated to accept anything that undermines your autonomy. Am I the jerk for taking my partner's sibling, who has autism, to a bar and telling them that I would be their wingman? I, a 26-year-old male, decided to take my girlfriend's 25-year-old female autistic brother Gary, a 28-year-old male, to a bar yesterday. I have been with her for 2 months and had met him a couple of times since they lived together. My girlfriend was going clubbing with some girls last night and I asked him what he was up to. He told me he would be spending the night alone as always. I told him he should come out to a bar with me. I said I would buy him some drinks, be the designated driver, and also be his wingman. We went out to the bar where I met my girlfriend. We went to the pool table, and I asked a couple of girls nearby if they wanted to play. They said yes. We were playing and talking to them for a bit, and we all seemed to be having a good time. At the end of our game, one of the girls asked us, "So, are you guys single or what?" I said, "No, I have a girlfriend." Gary said, "Yes, I am." Then the girl looked at me and said, "Well, that's too bad. Have a good night, guys," and started to walk off with her friend. Gary said to her, "Hey, I'm single." "Hello? Are you deaf?" But they just kept walking. Then he turned to me fuming and said, "What the fuck was up with her? Why was she acting like she was talking to both of us but then completely ignoring me? What a stuck-up little series of sexist slurs and curse words." I told him that some people, not just women, can be a little rude. I suggested we go talk to another group of girls. One girl told us she was on the rebound. I told her that Gary could help her get over her ex. She laughed and said, "Him. He can buy me a drink if he wants." Gary asked her, "What can I get you?" She told him, and he bought it. She was touching my arm and asked me, "Are you trying to get me drunk so you can take me home?" Gary said to her in an angry tone, "I'm the one who bought your drink, and you're literally ignoring me." She looked at him, laughed, turned back to me and asked, "Do you know this guy?" Gary said, "He's literally doing my sister, and he brought me here to try and make it up to me by being my wingman, but he's not doing a very good job." The girls all started laughing, and he ran out of the bar. I went out after him and he started yelling at me saying, "You dick, you brought me here just to embarrass me. You knew how this would go. Why did you say you would help me meet girls? You liar. Don't promise things you can't deliver." He was literally in tears at this point, and I drove him home. I tried to make him feel better, apologized, and gave him a hug. I went inside with him and talked to him for a while. Eventually, he told me, "I forgive you this time, but you're still an asshole for putting me through the worst humiliation I've been through since high school." Am I the asshole for bringing him to the bar, knowing that he was hoping to meet girls, given that there wasn't much chance of success? It's nice that there was an effort to help him out, but the setting choice might not have been the best. Those girls did sound pretty rude, to be honest. It might be better to take him somewhere he can meet people with similar interests, like a convention or a concert. Also, just a heads up, some people might take jokes about being a wingman quite literally. Am I the jerk for taking my friend to Taylor Swift's Eras tour while my girlfriend was sick? A few days ago, my girlfriend and I were supposed to be going to the Eras tour. She saw that everyone was talking about it on social media and did not want to miss out. She could not afford a ticket, so I bought both of our tickets as a gift for her. The night before the concert, my girlfriend went out clubbing with her friends. I warned her not to get too drunk, but she did anyway. The following day, she was so hungover she could barely even lift her head. She said she could not go to the concert, which I understood. However, she also wanted me to stay home and comfort her. I was pretty disappointed since I had actually been looking forward to the show. I said I had already paid for the tickets and it would be a shame for both of them to go to waste. She said that I was her boyfriend and the least I could do was take care of her when she was sick. I texted my best friend and offered her one of our tickets. She had been a die-hard Swiftie for 13 years, but was not able to get tickets due to the whole Ticketmaster situation. When she asked why I was not also going, I explained what happened. She said I should not have to miss out on something I was looking forward to because of my girlfriend's actions. She said that I paid for the tickets, so it was my choice what I did with them. So I decided to go to the concert with my friend. I left my girlfriend's place in the afternoon, telling her I had a work emergency. She had 2 roommates to help look after her, so it was not like I was leaving her alone. The concert was amazing. I have Cruel Summer stuck in my head as I am writing this. During the surprise song section, my friend nearly started crying with joy when she heard her top 2 favorite songs. Seeing how happy she was made me realize that I made the right decision giving the ticket to someone who would actually appreciate the show, instead of someone who was only following what everyone else was doing. When my girlfriend found out, she was furious with me. She started screaming and crying, saying I cared more about some random girl than my own girlfriend. She accused me of being inconsiderate and said it made her feel replaced. I tried to explain that I did not want the tickets to go to waste and that it was a last-minute decision, but she is still really upset and will not talk to me. My friend thinks my girlfriend is overreacting and that I did nothing wrong, as the tickets were mine after all. Am I the asshole? You're not an asshole for going to the concert, but you definitely are for lying about it. Your girlfriend overconsumed and tried to emotionally manipulate you into staying home, which was wrong on her part. However, making up work emergencies because she might be pouty is ridiculous and dishonest. If you have to walk on eggshells like that, maybe it's time to reconsider the relationship. Am I the jerk for talking back to my parent? Yesterday, I, a 22-year-old, talked back to my mother, who is 41 years old. because I felt like she is not hearing my side of the story. Recently, my mother, my father, and my 2 younger siblings, a 15-year-old female and a 3-year-old male, went away to take care of some things concerning the properties they have bought over the years. They went away for 4 days, which left me with my other sibling, a 21-year-old male. They came home yesterday morning. While still traveling, my mother already texted me to tell my brother to cook breakfast since he is the designated cook in the house, and they would arrive earlier than expected. After receiving the text, I immediately informed my brother, but he refused to cook, saying he still needed to do the laundry. After hearing this, I immediately informed my mother that my brother was doing something else. I think she got mad, based on her tone in the message, and insisted that there should be food already when they arrive. Scared that she would get mad, I took it upon myself to do the cooking. I only cooked noodles as per her instructions. After cooking, I also cleaned up the house and took care of the dogs. When they arrived, I was surprised by her outburst, saying how useless my brother and I are. She said a lot of hurtful words, and I just could not stand it, so I talked back. I explained to her that my brother refused to cook since he wanted to do his laundry. After hearing this, she raised her voice at me, and I had just had enough. I talked back and told her how she always thinks she's right, and did not even try to hear my side of the story, and just immediately concluded everything. It turns out my brother told her that I did not inform him that they were coming home, which is why he did not cook. When my brother came home, I confronted him in the presence of my mother. After realizing what truly happened, my mother did not even apologize to me. Instead, she proceeded to list the things I failed to do while she was away. I'm just so sick of our situation because it feels like whatever I do is not enough for her. She has always been like this before, but I never talked back because in our culture it is disrespectful to do so. I had just had enough today, and there are lots of things on my mind. I have an exam coming up, so I'm a bit stressed. She later sarcastically said that I am always right since I'm about to graduate college, and I'm looking down on her. She also added that she'll get back at me if I ever ask her for a favor in the future. And now she's giving me the silent treatment. I know she is trying her best to be a mother to us, but she just never tries to understand us. The only thing important to her is her opinion, and that she should always be right. Honestly, I want to leave our house because it is getting toxic, but I don't really have enough money to do so, and I don't have a job yet. Why doesn't your mom tell your brother herself? She's just being her usual entitled, never wrong self. Clearly, I think you are not in the wrong here, but talking back will have no useful effect. Until you can manage to get out, your best strategy isn't to argue. Just say, in a dismal tone, "Yes, Mom. You're always right, Mom. Am I the jerk for not letting my friend move in? Again? Sure, here is your revised text. Just a bit of background. I live in a house that belongs to my parents. I live there by myself, so I have plenty of room, and I've offered my extra rooms to different people as the need arises if they're going through a hard time in their life. I'm not trying to make myself sound better than I am because I'm not the best roommate whatsoever. I'm not very neat. I don't always pick up after myself. I leave dishes in the sink. And I have a strange bedtime and wake-up time because I'm on medications that impact my level of alertness. A few years ago, one of my friends was struggling at her job. She was experiencing a lot of anxiety and mental health issues due to job stress, and she was afraid she might have to quit. I offered her a room in my house and she was happy to take it. Since I live alone, the house is fully furnished. However, I didn't want her to have to get rid of her furniture, so I got rid of my living room set to accommodate hers. We lived together for about 2 months when one Sunday she told me, "Thank you so much for letting me live here, but I'm going to start looking for another place." I said, "Okay, not a big deal." She was gone in 2 days along with the furniture we had shared. I was bothered that she left so quickly, and my living room was empty for 6 weeks as I had to buy a full new living room set. I was really frustrated when several months later she asked me again if she could move into my house, if she needed to quit her job due to stress or anxiety. We had discussed her job and its stresses multiple times. My response to her last conversation about her job was that I didn't know what she wanted me to say, because I could only go over the same talking points so many times. In this last conversation, when she asked if she could potentially move in if she quit her job, I told her I'm sorry, but I can't have her move in since she wasn't addressing the issues with her job and seemed to be relying on me as a safety net without considering the impact on my life and living situation. I explained that I couldn't have this quick turnaround and potential loss of furniture happen again. She decided that I was no longer worth her time or friendship. I reached out a couple of months after this happened and asked if she wanted to go to brunch, but she kindly texted back, "No thank you." I have not heard from her since. Am I the asshole? I think you are not in the wrong here. This former friend was never a friend. As soon as concerns were voiced about her using you as a safety net, she dropped you. You cannot have a healthy relationship with people who discard you for not telling them what they want to hear. Stand your ground and don't allow her to move in again. Best of luck to you. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.